everyone. Welcome to our webinar with Sentry AI today. It's great that we have your time today and join us with the webinar with the topic, Get More from Securities Camera with AI Video Analytics. I would like to introduce the speaker of today. My name is Hing Wing, Head of Marketing of Sentry AI. We also have Farhad Ali, our Chief Product Officer, joining us today. So before we start, let's reflect why you spend time today on this webinar. Maybe you are a security dealer trying to looking for opportunity to offer more value for your customer. Maybe you are a security service that manage a lot of customer property and you try to find a way to improve the efficiency of your service. With the latest AI technology, we open the new opportunity to provide the new product offering and bring in more RMR. The second thing is that we reduce more than 98% of false alarm. So it helps you to lower operational cost. You will need less guard to monitor bigger property, less monitoring agent to monitor more screen. And definitely your staff will be happier with their job. So in today's webinar, our journey will go through some key topics. First of all, Farhad will share with you overview about AI video analytics, what makes it different with the traditional video analytics that we heard a lot before. In the second part, I will come back and show you product of Sentry AI that we're very proud of and show you how AI actually work on our smart surveillance platform. At the end, we will have the section with the Q&A. I will turn it to Farhad to start with the AI.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you be. First, thank you for your time and thank you for joining this webinar. What I would like to take you through is the history of the evolution of video analytics and especially what is and what is not AI video analytics. Yeah, so basically video analytics started back in 1988 or so, 30 plus years ago with VCR, then DVRs. And then they started about 2000 talking about video analytics. And a decade ago, started talking about real-time video analytics. But I wanted to make sure that all of this is not what we call AI video analytics. That technology, both the software technologies, which are deep learning, and I'll talk about it on a future slide, as well as the hardware necessary for it was not available till about 2018 or so. And in fact, I would say it's only about this year when this reality of AI video analytics is coming and making it commercially viable. So what is this AI? So basically AI is human-like cognitive capabilities, which machines and software exhibit, right? They include stuff like sensing, understanding, more importantly, learning and problem solving. And then when we look at the technologies themselves, it's very, very broad. Artificial intelligence technologies includes a lot of even hardware kind of things like sensing devices and all. One area, which is a subset of AI, is machine learning. And by the way, machine learning is a word used at least 50 years ago. In fact, I wrote a paper in machine learning in 1978 in IEEE transactions called Machine Learning and Cybernetics. But basically what that uses is mathematics and statistics. Now, what really differentiates true AI is this deep learning, which is like really how does the brain think? And I'll talk about that on the next slide. But we need to make sure that these are the basic technologies which we combine to basically solve problems, which are called applications like natural language processing, or vision, or robotics, or automatic driving. So what is this deep learning? So the best way to think about it is if you think about how you see it, how your child would see it. You know, your eye has got a lens, which is like a camera lens. It actually takes a picture very similar to what a camera does and reflects the picture on your retina. So on retina, what you have is basically pixels. And that, tells you nothing. So then this has to actually go to your brain. And in the brain, they do something called convolve, which is over time they learn and then they map and they try to understand. And basically in the vision technology, we call it convolution neural networks. So basically what we try to do is replicate in software what the brain would do, which is try to understand things like shape, size, weight, color. And so how does a child learn? All of that in your brain, which is what we try to reproduce. So what you have to do is, in the case of software, feed in millions of images. For example, in this example, a dog versus a cat. And we say, this is a dog, this is a cat. And we keep repeating it till the system itself, through this convolution, right, or this mapping, just like it happens in one's brain, tries to figure out how do you distinguish the two and remembers it. And then when new data comes, so this training is very important. And by the way, the level of training requires, the number of images you feed, the depth, and they're called levels of these CNNs you use, all differentiate. So all AI is not alike. Powerful AIs can do a much, much better job than what I would call simple AI. And so anyhow, when the new picture appears like a cat, the logic which has been captured by the AI will say, aha, it is a cat. And that's how it works. So very, very similar to how the brain works. And this is what is truly the state-of-the-art AI. And this AI, I'm sure all of you have been hearing about AI. This is changing all industries from fintech to automobile industry to manufacturing to even healthcare. And it's absolutely going to revolutionize our security industry. People like yourselves, which will try to adopt AI, will survive, and the people who don't will most probably be unable to compete. The good news is the monitoring agent industry market size is very, very large, like $48 billion. The security guard industry is also gigantic, $100 billion. And as I mentioned earlier, the AI video analytics is actually just starting, pretty little, about $100 million. But the good news is it's growing rapidly. And that's why I'm excited to be part of this industry. What one needs to be able to achieve to make it all work, as Ian mentioned, is we need false alert reduction. If you only reduce 50% and all, it does not work. The number has to be in the 90s. I'm actually happy to report that we have achieved 98% plus in false alert reduction. More importantly, you have to be able to do it without missing critical events. And that number has to be sub 1%. In fact, a good measure is what would alert guard be able to find. By the way, an average guard, after looking at a screen, kind of becomes brain dead, if you want to call it, to some extent, and would miss many more events. So that's not a good comparison, but our criteria would be what would an alert guard be able to detect? And we should be able to use the technology to meet that need. And if you are able to achieve those two, as Ian mentioned, the productivity gains by not having to deal with false alerts would be dramatic, and we expect at least a 2x productivity gain in the software we have produced. So this may seem easy, but it's actually very, very hard. Every use case is different. Cameras are of different types. They are mounted at different locations, high, low, what have you. And then all of these things, flying flags, shadows are very, very important issues. All kind of weather to be able to detect is extremely difficult. Finally, you have to be able to distinguish, what you're detecting. So it's no longer the old way of video analytics, just boxes moving around. You have to know this is a cat or a dog, or this is a human, or this is a vehicle. And again, Ian will talk about more detail about that. And also, they have to kind of remember stuff like loitering. This person I've seen before is hanging around. What does it mean? So doing all of these things using technology is hard. And I'm actually glad to report that we have been able to achieve it. So Ian will take you through this, but basically we are proud of our accomplishments. We have a system which is human-like. It can protect 24/7. And more importantly, it's always learning. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Ian.
Yeah, thank you, Farhad. Right now, Sentry AI offer you 3 different tiers of AI product. The first tier you can see here on the first column in intrusion detection. So it's mainly focused on detecting people and vehicle. The second tier is not just only detect, but now it's start recognize people and vehicle through their face, through the license plate. So we call it proactive monitoring. So you get more insight about what events happen. And the third tier here, corner, you see the smart safety. So that is the custom AI that we build up for very specific use case that you may have about safety for your customer and employee. We will look on how AI actually work out in real life. So this is what you can see here is our portal, and it summarizes all the activity that Sentry AI work on. This is the sample system of office building, and you can see here that previous 24 hours, the camera system sent in 50,000 motion trigger. So usually before Sentry AI, this is what you will receive if you turn on the alert. No way that anybody can monitor that. So it's pretty pointless. But with Sentry AI, we was able to reduce it to 94% and just only send out, you can see here the 2,000 alert. This is a very active office during the day. I want to keep you notice here that 94.6% is the alert reduction. Most of them are true alert. So you can see here that actually we found the person, we alert on the person. It's always have the person or vehicle in the alert that we send out that was summarized here about the type. So we very confident that the false alert reduction rate that we have is even higher than 99%. So from the alert management view, you can see more detail on what the alert that we send out. It's from the top-down camera. It's very challenging view. You can see that we detect the person that we're walking by. The people come from the parking lot. One interesting thing about Sentry AI vehicle detection is that when we use the camera to monitor the parking lot, all the car here parked in the parking lot that does not move will not trigger the alert. And in the alert detail, you can see here that we also have the timeline. So you can see we monitor the parking lot all the time, but we just only send out the alert whenever the vehicle moving in and out, and all the time will be keep tracked in here. So you can see that we just send the alert in the matter of seconds. I will share with you some of the very typical use case for securities camera. In this example, this customer used our Sentry AI system to monitor warehouse, even with very bad light condition. This is a completely regular camera. You don't need to invest into high resolution, just a regular IP camera. You can use Sentry AI on it and make it smart. It alert you whenever there's a car coming into the property or whenever people show up. It can detect people and vehicle in very tricky position. You see that it's also part of the body that step in there. The foot just came in, and you receive the alert right away. Not just only detection. Sentry AI also provide even recognize the vehicle and person. So in this use case, this customer used the security camera at the entrance multi-house community. They monitor all the vehicle coming in and out with the license plate feature. You can see here that Sentry AI was able to capture the license plate right here. And it also provides some information about the vehicle, like Nissan Frontier. We put the vehicle, even the people, into different category. So you can see here that if we found a vehicle, but we don't find the license plate. So in this case, you don't see the license plate, right? But you still see the car. We categorize that alert as eligible vehicle detected. It still have some, yes, this is the Toyota 4Runner. It's correct. If it found the license plate, but it cannot match the license plate into the safe list or watch list, it will categorize it unknown. It's very easy to set up the safe list and watch list for the camera. You can just go into the safe list and watch list tab and type in. For LPI, you can just type in the license plate here and put it in safe list and watch list. And then later on, Sentry, whenever it detects the watch list vehicle, so I filter the watch list vehicle here, it will send you the specific alert for watch list vehicle. And all of the activity will be monitored in the analytics tab. So let's say if you click on the vehicle recognition, it will record all the activity of the property entrance, which car coming in at what time. and what is the license plate. You also can generate another report. To set up the safe list and watch list for person, you can upload the photo of the face a different angle. So we recommend to upload a couple of photo a different angle to make sure that you recognize that person from different angle when they entering the camera, and put them in safe list or watch list. In this case, put Zach in watch list to monitor if like whenever he come into the office. So what happened is like whenever he come in, open the door and appear, we'll recognize his face, even on the side, at front, at pretty decent distance. And if it's similar with the vehicle, if it's detect a person without the face, it's called unidentifiable person. Sometimes if it found the face, in this case, found the face of this lady, but because her face is not in watch list, it's not in safe list, so we call it unknown person detected. So this is have very good use for the specific use case, like you want to monitor the entrance of the building, the secure area, such as data room or at the entrance of the office building. I will want to go through really quick about how to connect the camera with the system. So we make the integration with the camera system is seamlessly. It's very easy for you to connect the camera and manage the service on the camera from the camera setting. So you can see that all the camera will list into the camera setting tab, and you can turn on, turn off the service for each camera. So you may categorize this camera is at the entrance, just we will use facial recognition for that camera, but another camera outdoor, we will turn on the V monitor for that camera. One thing that I want to emphasize here is we are the only AI company in the market right now customize the AI setting at the camera level. So it makes the AI work on different camera will be optimized to deliver the best results. So for example, if you have a camera facing some area with some figure, look like a person, let's say you have a photo of people on the wall, at the first time it will recognize that person and send you the alert. But the next time it will recognize, oh, this person is actually not ever moving, it's always there. The AI learn how to ignore that fixed figure and not send you the alert on those. Also, indoor camera and outdoor camera will behave differently. So our AI actually consider all of that and optimize the camera to make sure that we get the highest accuracy for each type of camera. We also have scheduling for the camera. So you can see here that we can set up the schedule different for each camera. The schedule also can be used with user at user level. So not just only schedule for the camera running, but you can set the schedule and use this for shift management. So each user will receive the alert a different shift. So we visit quickly on the admin tab here. It's very easy to set up the camera the system. You just need to hit to account setup and choose the type of connection. So you can connect the camera within 5 minutes. And you can add many users as possible. We have different permission access for the user in the monitoring station using the portal, or for the guard using the mobile app. So by that, I will also want to share with you really quick about how it looked like on the mobile app. So this is the interface of the Sentry Smart Sentry mobile app that is available on Apple Store and Google Play. So Sentry AI customer will use the app to receive the alert on the way. So you can see here that we have the push notification on the app, and it lists down all of the information of the alert right here. You can view, you can download the image. The great thing about the app is that it's actually a very useful tool for your security team. If you have a teams of many guards working at the same time, the app will help them to update on the system if they're taking one cases. For example, in this case, if the guard hit accept, so it will show that, oh, that user already pick up that case. So another team member don't need to worry about it anymore. The guard will also can add the note to inform another team member what happened right there. Let's say I put everything's okay. And they can also provide the feedback on the alert. So I mentioned earlier that our AI is special because it have the capacity to self-learn and improve the accuracy over time. So the more user provide the feedback, the more accurate it's become. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the deployment. So with all of the feature, you may question, okay, so AI is great, it can help me solve a lot of problem, but I already have the system in place. I already have my camera. Do I need to upgrade my camera? I already use another automation software or a video management software and another platform to inform my monitoring agents. How we bring in Sentry AI. So I will share with you, this is very easy. With the seamless integration we have on the input side to connect to get the information from the camera, it usually just takes us less than 5 minutes to connect with your camera and start receiving information from your camera. We process it, and then we can push information. Maybe if you use our portal, you just see, you will have all the features that assist you on your job. But we also can integrate with your IoT device or like another integration with your current system, for example, like Emacs, to push the information to securities monitoring agent or your guard. So with all of the integration we have right now, it's never easy than before that you can empower your legacy securities camera system, make it smarter, make it bringing more value without any hardware upgrade. And it's very easy to bring in new customer because the deployment is seamless for your customer, also easy for you to maintain the system. So you consider this as an opportunity to get more value for your customer and bringing more revenue from the benefit of AI. So with all of that, I would like to wrap up the presentation on the webinar. So feel free to contact me at the email on the screen here at smartsentry.ai or call our number at 408-514-1400 to get the free consultation every day.
Looks like there are no more questions, so appreciate all of you participating in your time, and we look forward to continuing the conversation.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.